Hello stream, it is me, Funny Gamer Man. We're here to play more Suzerain because what else would we do?
If you were looking for Sydney, he's not here. Only Funny Gamer
Only
Man.
Funny Gamer Man is here.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
No, this is gonna be a pretty chillax stream, I think. Oh yeah, I whacked my mic.
I
Yeah.
do apologize. I will be periodic. Oh, I can just check on my phone. What am I talking about? Never mind. I can't believe that just came to me. It's like, wow, I can just do that.
What do you
Anyway,
think I'm gonna
let's.
be doing with Lover Host, my guy? I got Twitter open right here. Okay. Yeah, I think we're ready to go.
Okay, let's. Yeah, sure. Let's get into it. And if you're never trying, I am whatever I am. Only God can judge me now. Okay.
A few days later. Oh my gosh.
It always just shows this.
Lucky, it's a few days later. Did you know
Oh
that?
my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
What the heck? Wow.
What the heck? Okay. That should be one of your voices.
What the heck? Wow. Not shot.
Kind of sound like, yeah, I was
High
gonna say either
score.
you sound like that or either that or Sonic. I guess this is all we have to do. So a briefing on the results from the Reform Committee. I came a little early to the meeting room before anyone showed up. We had scheduled a meeting to discuss the progress of the Reform Committee regarding the new constitution. I took a seat on the center chair in the vacant meeting room as I waited for them to show up. The reforms were slowly becoming the most significant expectation of my government. We would be challenging Seoul's constitution of 29. Most people nowadays blame the constitution for the outstanding problems of the country. On the other hand, the reformists in the assembly had been getting louder about their demands. What I knew for sure was that I needed to do something about this encroaching chaos before it swallowed me. Meanwhile, Lucian, Peter, and Nia had been leading the committee to prepare an initial draft for their constitutional amendments. I was intrigued to hear their results. There was a knock on my door. It was Lucian. Good afternoon, sir. Wait. Good afternoon, sir. Sure, I'll just go with that. Lucian arrived exactly on the hour mark again. His punctuality could almost be described as obsessive. Good afternoon.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna grab my. I'm gonna grab something real quick.
I do want to ask the number 2 here, just to find out if that's what he's doing, because it's I feel like he's totally doing that. Hello, Jack. How you doing? Are you waiting behind the door to come at the exact second? I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir? Forget it. How are you today? I'm good, Mr. President. Thanks for asking. He took a seat on the table and took out a bunch of documents, spreading them on the long table. We should begin the meeting as soon as Mornia and Mr. Vice President arrives. We finally have some results from the Reform Committee. I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good. I'm ready to get down and stream some Suzerain.
Some Suzerain.
So I asked him if he's waiting behind the door to come at the exact second, and he was like, "I'm sorry, sir." I'm like, "Forget it. How are you today?"
Oh, Lucian. Lucian that
So
Galade. Like a Pokemon.
I think Galad is a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Galade is a Pokemon. So we have some results from the Reform Committee. Let's see what those are.
Let's see. Today we are gonna see the results.
Let's say, how does it?
The Reform
Good.
Committee.
A few minutes later, Peter and Nia also arrived. After a short chat, everyone sat down and took their notes. I knew it would be a long meeting.
There's a lot of talk going about the future of this process. Let us begin to tackle the points of contention.
Mr. President, Our committee meetings were really fruitful, and we already started working on a constitutional draft together with the reformists.
Right.
They demanded a little too much, but I've success with Franz Richter to create a realistic draft that could potentially go through the Supreme Court.
A little. They demanded to rewrite the whole Constitution.
Their requests were definitely not outrageous, just not realistic in today's circumstances. Just because it wouldn't pass the assembly. Nonetheless, I'm glad that we are reaching common ground already. If we can reach an agreement with the reformists, we'll be very strong in the assembly and propose the change. That's not his voice. um,
Can we reach a 2/3 majority in the Supreme Court?
that's what you want to ask?
Works.
Okay.
Either of them work. They're both very similar.
Can we reach a 2/3 majority in the Supreme Court? If you can get Franz Richter to work with you on this, our only problem would be uniting our own party. We would never be able to get the NFP to work with us. We just need the majority of our 130 seats in the assembly to vote in favor. With the PFAP's full support of 70 votes, we will easily surpass the 166. Yeah, we would actually. But it would be tough to unite the USP without the decisive wings that have formed. You must make them follow you loyally. We did it before the elections, we can do it again.
We can do it again. We can do it again, Captain.
Yes, we can.
Albin Calvin and
Clev.
Clavin.
Wait,
Alvin Clavin.
Here's a new voice.
And his reformist wing would be supporting you. He's already weighed in heavily in the committee meetings. However, the conservatives would be tough to break. The influence of Soul is still living through strong in the party. Do you think they can be persuaded as the most passive option?
Yeah. Do you think they can be persuaded?
I'm sure it's possible, but regardless of my opinion, we need to persuade most of them to support us for passing an amendment to the Constitution. And there's only one person who's key to make them back us.
Gloria Tori. She's well respected by the Soulists. She'll be our biggest obstacle. She'll be our biggest obstacle in the assembly, and her demands will be extensive. I also have reasons to think that she might be in Orso's pocket. She will be tough to break, but we'll need her help to get the conservative support. Is it possible to pass through the Supreme Court? They are the biggest obstacle. Even if we pass the assembly, the Chief Justice will do his best to block our amendments. We need at least 6 out of the 11 judges to vote for the proposal, but Mr. Hawker has enormous influence over the judges.
We should reach out to the judges in secret. Some of them might be willing to break rank to support us.
Let's do 2 here. They will surely support a just cause for the country and its future. Lucian looks skeptical. According to the Constitution, I am a member of the Supreme Court, which means we already have 1 vote. 2 of the judges are friends of mine, and a similar opinion about the reforms. Consider them with me. So we only have 3 out of 11?
Mm-hmm.
3 votes, yes. But I believe that Judge Edmonds can be persuaded as well. She and 2 other judges, Mr. Dalton and Mr. Merton. They weren't really blinded by the Soulist ideology.
Yes, those 3 don't seem to be working to. Well, I got a new follower. Thank you, new Jack Blaze account, for following me. Yes, those three don't seem to be working directly with the Chief Justice Honker. If we can get the Isabel Edmonds, we might get the 6 votes needed. That's our best bet.
Okay. What are the demands? Let's go through the draft.
What are the demands?
Yeah. What are the final demands? We should run down each of the main demands of the committee and get your input first. Mrs. Mornia can explain them further. We'll start with the first red line. The new constitution will fix the loopholes regarding the president's absolute veto powers. Even though Mr. Richter put on a whole show about why vetoes should completely be removed, the committee has almost unanimously agreed on fixing the loopholes, thus limiting presidential vetoes. My suggestion is to add a clause detailing the methods of the assembly may override a veto with some sort of supermajority. One person should never be able to block the rest.
I think veto should be removed.
Yeah.
No one has commented on my Santa hat, Jack. I mean, not Jack. Sorry, Lucky. No one has commented on my Santa hat, and I feel very disappointed.
I don't know. I feel like it's just. Is it possible it's not Christmas?
Well, no, but that's
It's
why
a
people would
chance.
comment on it, you know? Because it's like, it's not Christmas, and I'm wearing a Santa hat, and people would be like,
I think
oh
they were
my
expecting
God,
a cowboy hat.
why would he be?
Honestly?
Yeah, my cowboy hat's over there, but I can't use it in headphones.
Yeah.
I can't even really use this and headphones. We're kinda in a bit of a situation here, Lucky.
Let's say number 2 here. Oh,
I
disagreement.
I think that
I'm fine with I'm fine with 1 here. I stand in agreement with Mr. Richter. The veto should be removed altogether. Whatever you decide, it's important to get a balanced picture. We will be making history by changing the 29 Constitution of Seoul. Jack Blaze said I didn't notice. Jack, is he always wearing a Santa hat? We just haven't figured it out yet?
Yeah, I'm always wearing a Santa hat.
He transitioned it into his character. The second one is about the judiciary. The new constitution will remove the Supreme Court's right to vote on legislation. This is yet another point that is unanimously agreed by all parties. Tarkin Seoul establishes this rule to protect his 29 constitution. We all know most of the judges are still his pawns. Is he still alive?
No, I don't think he is.
No, I think he is, because, 1949 was only a couple of... Yeah, I think he's still alive. Because, look, I think it's, 1953, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he's still alive. Anyway. Constitutional amendments will still be very difficult to accomplish with a reform like this, particularly because they will keep the 2/3 vote system to be able to propose a change. However, the judiciary will not have a final say in the amendments.
It's Crab Rave playing, Lucky. I put Crab Rave in my video.
We need the court to even pass this change. Why would they support this? Most of them won't, but we already talked about my vote and a possible agreement with Isabel, which may change things. Apart from these 2 critical points, they have other major demands. They want to reform the appointment procedures of ministers. Mr. Richter clarified that the Assembly should have a say on the formation of the Council of Ministers.
There's something that is something that a majority in our party also supports.
Well, Mr. Richter also talked about abolishing the Member of Honor rights of Tarkin Seoul. That gives him absolute immunity and makes him a permanent member of Assembly.
Well, that is a controversial one. I doubt that USP would like that.
Hmm. Immunity of the justices, the impeachment of the president, limiting the power of presidential decrees. All of this came up during the committee meetings. Yes, reformists expect big reforms, while our faction in the USP are not very keen on pushing changes that are too great.
I'd say keeping everything in the middle ground is the safest bet. No need to agitate anyone too much.
You see the crabs that are raving
Have you seen my
in the
stream,
chat?
Lucky?
I do see your raving crab. Hmm. I think 2 or 3 here.
Lucky, I've been thinking
So
of
do we?
spending $30 to get a person to draw a custom Pikachu logo for my channel, which would be a Pikachu wrapped up in a little blanket with a cup of hot chocolate.
Who would do this?
Fiverr.
Who are you thinking?
That's where you get like emotes and stuff. That's how like Twitch
Fiverr?
and stuff. Yeah.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? I know Fiverr. I'm kidding.
Fiverr is the thing that all the controversies were about. Like around PewDiePie.
So are we gonna keep the controversies reforms manageable?
Yes, we must
Or
keep the reforms large. And large.
so you're saying they have valid concerns that we need to look at then?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
I think we need to push for comprehensive reforms.
Okay.
I
don't know if we can pass that though. I disagree. We need to push for I'm with you on this, Mr. President.
Well, regardless of what Mr. Rain decides, we'll need to work together to push this agenda.
Now that we have a better picture on your intentions, sir, I will start reaching out to my contacts to make a draft that works for us. I'll present your input to the committee. In a few months, you will have the draft on your desk that'll make the final changes yourself. I think this was yet another fruitful meeting, sir. I've figured out his voice. I need to not breathe through my nose when I'm doing his voice.
It's all about the breathing.
Huh?
It's all about the breathing.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Anyway.
Exactly. It's always about the breathing.
Together, we will democratize swordland. And you have my full support, Mr. President.
And ours too, of course.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for the time. I think this is where we'll call it, sir. Have a good day. They left the room. Okay. Let's check the news. Why Workers' Party of Blubia protest electrical bill? Uh-oh. They're mad about our bill to make, because you know the bill that we passed to fund us like 50% more, but everybody else less.
Yeah.
Yeah, this party is not happy about it. It's manageable. Let's read this report. H3 construction's plan started by Taurus. Taurus Holding has reported that the preparatory work for the H3 highway has already started, including clearing lands and demolishing buildings in the path of the future roadway. Construction on the highway will be started in the next months, working west from Lock Haven. Good news. Haven't had anything too bad.
Can I just quickly read out the like baller of a team that my team is in Pokemon Sword?
Yes, please.
I got a level up a 51 shiny Nagandel, which I'm leveling up. It's not actually going to be on my team permanently. Secondly, I have a level 100 Victini. Thirdly, I have a level 100 Absol, which is my first ever Absol in Pokemon, and it's one that I trained all the way from level 20 to level 100. Then I have my level 100 shiny Zygarde. Then I have my level 78 shiny Tapu Koko, and then I have my level 80 like completely maxed, other than level Lycanroc.
Oh, Sydney, Jack says that your Pikachu in a blanket would look
I know.
pretty
I know.
nice.
I saw it, and I should I swap Melmetal onto my team?
I'm not really sure actually what Pokemon that is.
Or should I
So
swap Rayquaza onto my team?
for instead of who?
Instead of Nagandel, because it's level 51 and it's trash.
I mean, if it's gonna make your team better, do what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm swapping it. Okay. Keep on going, Lucky.
Okay, meeting with Chief Justice Orso Hawker. The administration had been working day and night on the overwhelming amount of issues that were facing the country. The department sent several documents which required my signature so they could start working on new decisions that were taken. After I signed dozens of them, I closed my eyes to relax for a moment. After another long day. Even though I wished to leave the palace for the day, Lucien had earlier told me that the Chief Justice wanted to speak to me. We planned to meet in my office in 30 minutes. I waited for him, wondering what subject he would raise. It's pretty much our whole character is number one, is the option of number one. It's pretty much, I mean, we have to do it.
We gotta pour a whiskey. I mean, what else could
What
we
would
do?
Mr.
Let's
Whiskey
just
think?
let's really be honest with ourselves.
What would Mr. Whiskey think of us if we didn't?
Mhm.
I poured some whiskey for myself and took a sip. It eased my mind a little. Suddenly, I heard a knock on the door. It was Lucien. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Lucien. I'm sorry that I couldn't explain the situation to you in detail earlier, sir. The Chief Justice insisted on seeing you this evening. I do not know what he has to say, but it will probably be about the new constitution. He will be coming shortly with Judge Mr. Grassi to the meeting. We shouldn't take them lightly. I think 4 year.
Yeah.
You have to stand strong. Regardless of what they say, we will continue with the new constitution. Of course, let us stand our ground and not let them antagonize us, sir. We should. There were 3 knocks at the door. Lucien checked his watch. He looked rather worried. Livia opened the doors. Chief Justice Orso Hawker and Judge Haran Gracchi entered the room. Good evening, Mr. President. This is my guy, right?
Yeah.
Is he?
Oh, it's the Supreme Court judge.
I don't think we've talked with this guy. This is a new character, actually.
Should it be me?
I think it's my turn.
Okay.
Or do you,
No. The next one I'm gonna do like the game announcer voice. So
yeah.
if you want to do that, yeah.
Good evening, Mr. President. It's great to see you.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah, that's you.
I gotta remember how to do it. Good evening. It's not it.
Glad to see you, Chelsea. Or welcome, Justice Scratchy.
High score. High score. This is a high score. High score.
High score.
High score.
What are you thinking here?
Welcome, Judge Gracie and Chief Justice Hawker.
Welcome, Justice Gracie and Chief Justice Hawker. Glad to see you indeed. Also, gesture at the table, sofa in the office, at the sofa. May I?
Please.
Please. We all took our seats on 2 opposite sofas and made ourselves comfortable. Orso glanced at the glass of whiskey. Celebrating something, Mr. President. Forgive me, would you like a drink? Yeah, let's just say one here. It's the only option.
It's the only good option that's like it's the only not good, okay option.
Yeah. Forgive me, would you also like to have a drink? No, thank you.
Me neither, thank you.
I'd like to stay as conscious and focused as I can.
how were your first couple of months, Mr. President? I hope you're faring well.
Thank you. It's very busy, but I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's very busy, but I'm doing good.
It will only get busier, yet I think you're doing a good job so far. Considering all that's happening around us with the shootings near the palace and the soldiers on our borders.
He let out a deep sigh.
It is a troubling time.
We appreciate your concerns. So, you probably know why we're here.
Please enlighten us.
Please enlighten us, Mr. Hawker. We know you are working on a new constitution. The Supreme Court does not approve of this. With all due respect, the Constitution needs to be updated, sir. I am sure you are well aware of the public demand and our circumstances. Is that so? I see that you are the one who is not aware of our actual circumstances. You want to make a weaker constitution in the midst of problems from both inside and outside. Even if you're passed, well, make sure it will not pass the Supreme Court.
Jack made a good point. He said, "Can funny voices be a tag?" And I don't know. We should check that out next stream.
We really should.
Okay.
Happens.
You haven't seen the? Yeah. One is the one that
Yeah.
one would say.
You haven't even seen the proposal yet, Mr. Hawker. Is it too soon to be against it? Do you think I live under a rock, Mr. President? I know what goes on.
Yet you, Mr. President, seem to be only partially informed about the current situation. Please let us explain the reasons of our stance.
Oh, please explain. Let's hear it. Or I think 1, 2, or 3. I'm fine with any of them. So let's just say, oh, please explain.
We are protecting the Constitution because it works, Mr. President. It's efficient, and it gives you the authority to lead the nation with swift decisions. Swordland has more important problems and threats that we should face right now instead of nitpicking about some paragraphs of the Constitution. We have a potential war within our borders. No, you don't.
Orlos.
You just don't want to get rid of your veto.
No. Yeah, that and also that the former President Toll is in their pocket, as they would say in this game. Orso signaled Heron with his hand and let him speak instead. Mr. President, I know you are a busy man, so I will make this quick. We all know that Swordfish security forces found stashes of Rumburgian weaponry in the hideouts of blurred separatists. KA-47s are roaming inside Swordland at this moment. As much as Rumburg poses a direct threat, now it's clear that they are also intervening in our country and weaponizing our minorities against us. It's not unprecedented that the Bloods would start their terror again with their new toys. Not to mention the fights that broke out between the left and right wing after the shooting of Bernard's Circus. Communists are rising with the support of United Cortana. The chaos is imminent for Swordland. And sadly, we don't see the administration taking the necessary precautions. You said that you will not focus on military during your term. Under current circumstances, that cannot be tolerated at any cost.
You think it can't be tolerated? I'll show you what can't be tolerated.
You're gonna tolerate this.
Yeah. I don't know.
We are taking the necessary steps.
Yeah.
We're taking the necessary steps, no need to worry. We hope that our police forces and military is adequately funded during times of conflict.
You think we
But
got the budget to fund literally anyone?
you are
That's
also
my
aware that
question.
the armed Bluish separatists have direct connections with the Workers' Party of Bluia. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that.
You know what that means. Do you remember the vote of the Workers' Party in the last election? What is that all? What is that all about? I just lost it. They are not giving. They're not in the assemblies because of the electoral threshold. They have not quite think they are clearly getting inside help, and their connections to the primary Bluish force cannot be denied. And all of a sudden, the reformists are trying to decrease the electoral threshold so that Bluish separatists can be legitimized in the assembly to achieve their aims of independence.
Independence.
Do you think that's Mr. Richter's intention?
I don't know. That's
I mean, that's a question. That's the honest truth.
That's the honest truth. I don't
Do you
know.
think that's Mr. Richter's intention? I suspect his intentions are grander, but I wish the only issues were Bluish terrorists and Rumberg. Continue.
Oh yeah, sorry. Reformists suggested changes would also bring the communists, who are backed by United Contana, into the assembly. Do you see the pattern yet?
And what is your suggestion?
Yeah.
We should all take the necessary measures against communist and Bluish plots, as well as increasing our military budget against a possible conflict with Rumberg. Yeah.
Lucky, can I spoil the end of Lover House?
Sure.
People fine with that?
Well, I don't know if our one viewer is fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
But,
Jack
yeah,
watches
continue.
Lover House anymore. Captain Buffy won. Which was the person who I
Are
was
you
rooting for.
quite happy?
It's great.
What did he accept? The host or the love?
She accepted the love, I think. Yeah, because
Really?
Well, yeah, because I just know this from the tweet, and the tweet went and said, "I won. I have a new best friend, and her name is Pokemon." So I'm assuming that she picked platonic love.
Continue.
Okay. And of course, not fall into the traps of the reformists by listening to their demands. They are clearly plotting to weaken the president and our whole administration in order to exploit the situation.
Which brings us to some very important information that we have. It's definitely something you need to hear, and it can change absolutely everything. With all due respect, Mr. President, I think it is getting slightly ridiculous. Let the Chief Justice talk, Lucian.
Let the Chief Justice talk, Lucian. You're merely my
Of course, sir.
advisor guy.
The person in question is Mr. Franz Richter himself, the leader of the reformists. We have enough information to infer that he has ties with Arcasia. Arcasia is aggressively growing their influence around the world, and now we have Mr. Richter coming up with these ridiculous demands for a new constitution amidst a chaotic period in Sorley. All the pieces seem to fit perfectly. That is why the Supreme Court will be doing what it takes to stop these reforms and preserve the Constitution. How would you know that Mr. Richter has ties to Arcasia?
Yeah, jeez, how would you know that? Mr. Gallade, we all know he has been in Arcasia many times because it's been documented. But what would you think if he has been making hidden flights to the country?
I need to know this, please explain. Well, I'm just letting them do the talking. He has been spotted in a hotel in Arcadia last year, where they held the conference on an economic development in volatile regions. Right around that time, he started to influence the masses into believing our Constitution is the reason for everything bad. His trip was not documented, nor was he an official guest on the conference. We believe that he had a meeting with President Walker behind closed doors. I also have a couple more photos that that were taken in Arcadia in different cities. One is from a couple months back. Again, none of it is documented. He also attended another event in Lesbia last week. The Arcadian Minister of Foreign Affairs was there too.
Uh,
How can any of these be undocumented?
Undocumented. How can any of these be undocumented?
We don't know. Even if he used his own private plane, we would be able to get information of his flights. That means he has people helping them from the inside. Many Solists were already following his leads for quite some time, Mr. President. I cannot give away their identities, but I can give you the evidence. He handed me a small file. It contained official documents from the Sordis border guard with highlighted dates that show no trace of Franz Richter's name. There were clear photos of him that were taken in the conference in Arcadia, as well as remarks by lesbian and Arcadian citizens who claim to have seen him with Arcadian businessmen around the same dates. There was also an official transcript of one of his speeches where he claimed to be in Benfey on the dates of the conference in Arcadia where he was spotted. Lucien skimmed through the documents with skepticism, which slowly turned into surprise. These seem to be real. Of course they are real, Mr. Gilad. These seem to suggest that Arcadia is behind the reformists. Their demands will only benefit Arcadia. They want us to have a weaker administration while we face all these threats. This is clearly a plot against Swordland. I bet Rumberg is part of their plan too. This cannot be a coincidence that they are weaponizing our minorities against us around the same time. Now you understand the reasons of our current stance, and also our suspicions about your advisors, who clearly have not given you this vital information. Lucien gave him a sharp look. We appreciate the information, Mr. Hawker, but I advise against jumping to conclusions right away. We still need to check the information. There is not too much time to think or check. This is clearly an emergency. In such cases, the Constitution gives the President the right to use his emergency powers. If we work together, you can be sure that the Supreme Court will not block your declaration of emergency. You want me to declare an emergency?
Yeah, I'm feeling. It's not confirming to anything, it's letting us know more.
Yeah. Of course, we cannot wait for the process of the Assembly to take care of these issues. You must exercise your presidential powers for a fast and effective solution, which means you might need to suspend parts of the Constitution to give more authority to our security forces to deal with these issues. We must officially investigate Mr. Richter as well. You can devise a strong security decree if you base it on Articles 57 and 58, which gives the president the right to suspend parts of the Constitution to deal with national security threats. You can directly bypass the Assembly in such a situation. The only thing you need is the Supreme Court to allow the emergency to be declared, and you have our word on that. Sir, I think this is going a little bit too far. We shouldn't escalate things so fast. Mr. President, don't we talk in a private... Why don't we talk in private? Only the two of us. We can't devise a plan together. I know how we can use the Constitution to our advantage. It would be more effective if Mr. Gilad and Mr. Gracchi leave the room before we discuss it. Sir, I advise against it. Regardless of our situation, I'll be proceeding with the reforms.
You gotta go with 4 or 2. This is a really big decision.
4 is my favorite here.
Yeah, okay.
Even though you are aware of our national security threats,
You are making a big mistake, Mr. President. We will not allow you to succeed.
Gentlemen, I think it's about time to end this meeting. That's the only. Well, thank you for having us, Mr. President. Have a good evening. They both left the room without saying anything else. That was not good. They clearly tried to threaten you. I'm not scared of them. Or two.
I'm fine with either.
Okay, I'm not. We have to make sure the reforms pass the court. Or so we'll be doing whatever it takes to damage you. We need to be careful. There are still many old guard sympathizers in our party. We can't let them divide our party, and he will definitely try. After a short evaluation of the situation on our hands, Lucien left me in the presidential office. It was obvious that the old guards will be my main rivals in the near future. Okay, I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and fill up my water bottle.
Oh, we're gonna finish our turn.
Oh.
Yeah, so yeah, but we'll do that after.
Guys, I'm currently in the last battle to win the championship again. Never mind the fact that I have a team made up almost entirely of level 100 legendaries. That has nothing to do with this. I think this is like my 7th time winning the championship. I'm technically not winning it though, I'm just participating in tournaments where I am already the defending champion. So, you know, it's all good. Might do a Valorant stream soon. I'll see how that goes, because I get 100 FPS normally in Valorant, so we'll see how much it's affected. You know, like, sort of. Nothing's gonna stop me feeling so. Come on, Mawile, get me below half health. Then I will turn into Ultimate Zygarde, and I will Dynamax, and I will become more powerful than anything you've ever heard of. Man, Mawile is not happy. He's gonna use Outrage. I need like an attack that takes my own health down.
I'm back.
Hi, Lucky.
Okay.
You know, I'm having an issue because this Mawile isn't doing enough damage to my Zygarde, and I need to get my Zygarde below half health so that it can go and like turn into the ultimate 100% Zygarde form, and then after it turns into that form, then I go and I basically can Dynamax it and become like the most powerful Pokemon ever. But it's just taking so long. Okay, finally, I'm under half health. Sense the presence of many. Come on, Zygarde, become a freaking legend. And Flip Reset is playing at the same time. It's a great combination.
Okay,
Yeah, next turn.
let's go check the news.
Oh, or check the news, okay.
Hawker in Maroon Palace. Chief Justice Orso Hawker has been spotted entering the Maroon Palace. Our sources are intrigued by the timing of this visit. Okay, so it's just saying, let's continue. I'm just gonna fill my water bottle.
of democracy. People, this is what a freaking legend looks like, okay? This is what legendary Pokemon... I don't know if I can... Man, I get capture card. This is what freaking legendary Pokemon look like. I don't know how well you can see that, but it looks amazing. This thing is able to one-shot literally anything in existence without even trying.
Okay, Sydney?
Yeah.
Let's go read these reports. Oh, let's check these actually. School poisoning in Rybel. Police have arrested the principal of a high school in Rybel in southern Bergia, where 12 students die after eating a free meal laced with pesticide. The students, aged between 15 and 17, died after eating a lunch of local dish of zabla, cooked in the school of poverty-stricken city. Time for women to stand up. The women in Swordland have always been under pressure by the unequal society and system of discrimination that was built by old men in the last year. Questioning Solist education. Swordland was rated 39 out of 68 that were assessed. Upcoming government budget changes. As the top economy experts in the country, we have been watching the President first internal economic law lies ahead, and we'll see if he can prove his capabilities later. Geopolitical. Van Houten blames Vazland for the missing fishing vessel. Magnolia and Vazland are at each other's throats, which is communist books burned in Boren. Local residents gathered thousands of books that they claim to be spreading communist and Malinivist propaganda at the Century Park in Boren, and set the books on fire. Aggressive slogans targeting the Red Youth, the Workers' Party of Bludia, and the Communist Party of Swordland were shouted. Youth groups from the local party offices of the USP and NFP also joined with the burning. The fire department was dispatched and the protesters dispersed on their own. Ludus resisted sanctuaries. Security units have arrested 3 priests at 2 different Nurati sanctuaries in Sarna after finding links to insurgent activities. The report came from an elderly man who wanted to pray in peace, but instead found himself invited to join the BFF by a state-sanctioned priest. Narbel reports lack of hospital. The mayor of Narbel has reported that their hospitals are overburdened and they are unable to respond to the needs of the citizens. He complained about months-long waiting lists for terminally ill patients. On top of the capacity issues, it was also noted that the facilities are still largely used outdated technology. Young Swords and NFP flags burned. Oh my god. The massive counter-protest against the Young Swords led a local politician known to be aligned with the Red Youth resulted in many injuries and property damage. Subsequently, Young Swords and the NFP flags were burnt, which causes tensions to escalate. Local police dispersed the protesters by sundown. We just got one more. I think this is about the construction of the highway. It's not. Recession hits farmers again. As per the latest news from Lockhaven, the farming industry has taken another hit as a result of the recession. There are reports that 16% of all wheat in Lockhaven is rotting in barns due to a lack of buyers. Farmers are requesting additional funds from the government to survive the year.
Hey, it's COVID.
Barbecue with Frank. That's all we got going.
Barbecue with Frank.
Frank. It was a Saturday afternoon, and my first break from work in what felt like years, and the weather couldn't have been more perfect. Trying to keep my mind off the upheaval sparked by the circus assassination, I lit the backyard grill. Monica and Dina were out shopping for craft supplies, and I'd given the staff the day off. It was just me and Frank at home. I wasn't sure about he felt. I wasn't sure how he felt about me, but I did know that he felt about barbecued ribs. Our cook had left some marinating in the refrigerator. Sure enough, as Frank glimpsed the grill and the meat, he stepped out to join me.
Uh,
Let's
two is
is that
better.
just me?
Two's better.
Yeah, come to spend some quality time with your old man, have you? Sure, if you spare a few minutes out of your busy schedule. That's honest. Children who back to
Three is the most sympathetic one. One is
yeah.
the funniest and most realistic one. But three is...
I'm sorry. I know I haven't been very off around very often lately, but I'm happy to see you now. It's okay. I know you've got the most stressful job in the country, and you've got to feed your family on top of all of it. We both chuckled. I turned to tend to the fire. Here, let me try. He grabbed the fan and started quickly waving it over the coals. The fire roared to life. He turned to look at me with a grin on his face, as if he was expecting praise.
Good job.
I'll say not bad.
No, don't say not praise. He's
But we don't know if it's a
expecting
good job.
praise.
But it's probably not amazing. It's not warrant of a good job.
It's warrant of a good job, Lucky. We don't
It's
want
not.
him to not like us.
But not bad is praise.
Okay. Fine.
Not bad. Not bad. Thank you, sir. It's our utmost interest to fulfill our duties with precision. Grill shall commence in exactly 1 minute and 32 seconds. That was a spot-on impersonation of Lucy. We looked at each other for a second and then burst out laughing. I realized my throat was parched. There was a 6-pack of beer in the kitchen. Let's go grab it ourselves.
Or we can do two. Two's the best one out of any of them.
How old is he?
It's the best one because it's like, it's the most kind of like building one. Oh, he's in high school.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
Lucky,
do
let's
this
see.
one.
Do we want to follow the law or do you want a memory that's gonna last forever?
I think I think it'd be a huge scandal, wouldn't it though? If he was caught drinking.
I don't know about a
Uh,
huge
Under our
scandal.
under our supervision, nonetheless,
Okay, fine.
though.
Fine.
I got up, grabbed, and returned to the grill. I opened it, sat down, and gazed out the city skyline with my son. For a moment, my thoughts flashed back to my childhood and my relationship with my own father. My father was a rich man. We never had to worry about food, clothes, or anything else. Yet he was nearly always away and constantly distracted on the rare occasions when he was home. Now that I was president, I was worried that I would end up just like my father, distant and absent from Frank's life. Dad, can I ask you something?
Yeah, two's the best.
Okay. We are family, you can ask anything. It's just, I feel like there's sorry, so much you've been hiding from me. About your past and about what's going on right now. Like at dinner, that night after the ball, you told me everything was under control. But it wasn't it? I know what happened in the 20s. We learned about it in school. Now with the protests and the riots, is it going to be the same thing? Dad, is there going to be a civil war in Swordland? You go for this one. Tell me what you think here.
Let's just be truthful. Let's say I hope not.
Okay. I hope not. He let out a sigh. But what was it like back then? Uncle Peter said the two of you went through a lot. I'm not a kid anymore. You can tell me. Before I could gather my
Can I though, Frank?
familiar images started flashing before my eyes. Images of shoulders advancing towards me and my friends, weapons drawn. Of people I knew, friends and neighbors, being dragged through the streets, murdered in alleyways. The shocking grief on faces of fathers, mothers, and orphaned children.
Those were dark times.
Those were dark times. It seems like it.
One's good. We need to
Okay.
talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Frank leaned forward in a chair, his eyes wide.
let's tell him about the coup instead
Okay,
of Rachel.
but the coup in 1927. I was barely older than you are now, studying economics in the TheLucky1ne Business School. I was a freshman, exciting and young. I had just left the classroom to go back to my home as I heard the sound of multiple vehicles approaching the campus gates. As they got closer, I realized they were military camouflage trucks and tanks, carrying hundreds of soldiers. The same soldiers that were supposed to protect Swordland citizens pointed their guns at us. They immediately took control of the facilities. One of my friends asked us what was going on and was arrested immediately. More people got angry and gathered in protest. Frank kept listening, a shocked look on his face.
One's good. We need to tell him, but like,
Okay.
he's at a period in his life where we need to tell him. Also, that
I
was
was
a
there.
bad decision that we shouldn't have made, but we decided to make it because we thought that we'd get more unpaid workers from the people who were there. It's just, yeah,
I was there with the protesters as they declared martial law. We marched towards them. They threatened to use force, but we stood our ground. So they started beating everyone they saw, including me. The physical wounds took a few weeks to heal, but the mental scars have stayed with me to this day.
I stayed strong is better.
Okay. I tried my best to stay strong. Some of my friends were shot. Many more were arrested. I can't forget the screams to this day, but I'm proud not to have faltered.
If there's a question, I can't see it yet.
Yeah, no. Frank leaned back in his chair. His shoulders slumped heavily. I don't think we did.
Yeah, I think that's
Dude.
okay.
Yeah. That's enough for today. It's okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked you about it. I didn't know. I know I don't understand how easy my life is sometimes. One more thing, though. I know that you managed not to take any sides. Do I mind if I ask why?
Um, three
I
is
think three.
yeah,
Yeah,
three's pretty good.
there. Two sides. The same coin. Frank raised his eyebrows. His curiosity still not satisfied, but sensing my reluctance to go on, he simply nodded. Sorry for bombarding you with questions. I know I complain sometimes, but my problems are nothing compared to what you went through. One.
One, yeah.
Ooh, somebody in the chat. What game are we playing?
We're playing a
We
game
are
called
playing.
Suzerain. Hi, Nader47. You're the Minecraft guy I rated. Yeah, we're playing a game called Suzerain. It's a game where basically, yeah, we go and we just like make decisions.
We're the president of a
We're the
country,
president
and
of
we
the
have to.
country. Yeah.
There's like almost a civil war
Yeah.
happening right now. It's
Yeah.
it's a,
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff.
I usually stream
Multiple types of war.
Minecraft, but for like 2 weeks or so, I'm mainly streaming Suzerain because we're going all the way through the game. Yeah. I hope that you enjoy.
I'm here to listen to them, no matter what they are. Before Frank could say anything else, I heard the front door unlock. Dina and Monica's voices and the sounds of rustling shopping bags filled the house. Alright, I'll be upstairs until dinner. Frank went in and dashed upstairs. I took a long sip from my beer, looking at the city in the now setting sun. I hoped that talking to Frank was about my past had been the right decision. Part of me felt as if some burden had been lifted, but I had the same nightmares again that night. I didn't know about any nightmares.
Well, he's got PTSD, Lucky. What do you expect?
I don't know, not PTSD? Why is there a exclamation point here? That is not... I don't like that. It's not a good sign.
Some sort of thing is going on. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's mostly, it's reading, and then there's, like, choice options, and we have to make the options based off of, oh, there goes my Switch charger. We have to make the options based off of, like, what is happening in the country, so, like, we analyze, like, there's, like, news articles that show up, and there's, like, yeah, and we do funny voices a lot of the time.
Well, yeah. Yeah, so it's reading choice options. It's kind of it's a more advanced one of those books. You know,
It's a
I
more
I don't
advanced choose your own adventure.
kind of
Yeah.
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 Anyway, attacker opened fire on protesters, 17 dead. A man opened fire in a Western city during protest march organized by the Communist Party of Switzerland against the murder of Bernard Circus. The attacker used military-grade machine gun dated 1929. Swordist armed forces. Killed himself right after the shooting at 25 people, killing 16.
Jeez.
Gel Sword FC and Rika FC Derby postponed due to protests. One of the most important anticipated matches between Gelsword and Enrica was postponed because of the intense protests in the city of Enrica. The league has issues the following statement regarding this situation. Due to safety reasons, the players are compromised during these times of trouble. We decided to postpone the game. Undemocratic elections of Swordland. Oh my god. Pretty much our fault that though we're getting this. Prisoners riot in Intel Rock Prison. Yesterday around 11 a.m., a prison riot started in Ward C of the Antel Rock Prison, which was eventually suppressed. Ward C is generally used for keeping political prisoners, and the riots started when a warden was killed by a Bluish political prisoner. 4 guards and 21 prisoners died. 134 were injured.
Jeez.
Morna industrial output concerns. The mayor of Morna has reported that their industrial output numbers this year are 12% lower than last year. They are requesting additional support to improve this industrial capacity. Pretty much everybody is asking for it. I,
Everyone
I
needs
think
money.
I don't think we've had one conversation that didn't include somebody asking us for money, and we do not have much of it left. They are requesting additional support to improve their industrial capacity, including machinery and personnel, to combat the downward trend. With the construction of several new factories in Mornia, the mayor stated his belief that an economic upturn in the city is still possible if the government investments succeed. According to current projections, Morna is set to lose an additional 2% of industrial output next year. However, recent data from the municipality suggests the investment worth several billions of SR would stop the downturn trend and increase the industrial output in a short amount of time. USP report on reforms. Many members of the USP, led by Albin Clavin and the reformist wing of the party, clarified their demands in the party Congress. For the upcoming constitutional reform, Albin Clavin stated that without ministry reforms, they won't be able to stand behind the new reform package. Was he part of the USP? Do we need the USP?
I don't know.
We do.
Oh yeah. Also,
We
okay,
that's
we have to end the stream in 5 minutes, so I'm gonna build this for the next.
Let's see if we can wrap this up quickly.
Yeah.
Let's just
Yeah. Yeah. We can do it. We can do it.
presidential. I was traveling to the snow-covered city of Narbella in the Greece region for the Rural Development Forum organized by the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Education. Okay, this is where we can give money to the Ministry of Education. The mountainous cities of Narbel had gritty tones to it. It was mostly regarded as one of the poorest cities in Switzerland. Its people were hardy and wary. Even after the discovery of natural resources in the area, years of neglect by the central government were apparent of the general infrastructure. Natural resources, namely gas and oil, were now under the control of the Gasom.
Gism.
Oh, it's one of the corporations,
Gism.
which elevated the corporation to a place of power. My task in this forum was mainly.
Lucky, do you know what gas? Do you know what it is the other way? It's some gas.
Is it? It
Yes.
looks like to me, Mo Sag.
Yeah. So Nader47 once said it's like digital Catan and Risk. That's what my dad said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhat. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Catan and Risk, but instead of like,
Instead of building
yeah,
a
I guess so.
country up from nothing, it's you're building a country that already exists and doing some
Yeah.
choices.
My task in this forum was mainly symbolic: fake smiles and handshakes with oil barons, meeting with local politicians, but most importantly of all, to make sure that Narbel does not feel like it was forgotten by the government. The scenery so far, however,
But what
was a
if it is
reflection of
forgotten by the
Narbel's
government?
plus followed dialogue. Yeah, exactly. There were many bumps and empty, discolored spots in the asphalt. Navigating and swerving to avoid the inconveniences, our motorcade finally started nearing the city. As
So,
if my disc
he said
get to
plus
go.
Fallout dialogue options. I'm just gonna put in chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surge rolled down partition window. It's your go.
Oh, it is. We'll be arriving at Hotel West in a few minutes, sir.
Can't say it's been a comfortable ride. Let's just say thank you.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to complain. Thank you for letting me know.
Anytime. It is my duty.
So weird when you speak like that. After a moment, Serge started to smile under his mustache. How was life, Serge?
Sir, I just want to say it's been great these last 2 months. You know, the smell of you in my car just lingers.
I love it.
As you know, my wife Susan recently gave birth to our son, sir. And now my daughter just started at a very good high school in Whole Swords, sir.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I appreciate it, sir. Truly, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to afford a good private school if she scored less in the entrance exams. But I shouldn't have made my insecurity get to me. Erica outsmarts me all the time. I'm very proud to have a daughter like her. Yeah. I need those good.
You think 3's good? You want to click 3?
Uh-huh. No, don't actually click it.
So that means let's go with 2. Let's not make it about ourselves.
I feel like we should also do a playthrough of this at some point where we just don't care about literally anything. Like, we just do it.
See
through,
what
like,
changes?
Yeah, like, just do like the worst options possible. Because that would be really entertaining.
Thanks, Nader. Yeah. If you want to, we can shout you out.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
not totally sure how to, but I think City has an idea.
Yeah. I'm shouting you out right now. Go watch Nader's streams. I've raided him before. If you're live when we end the stream, I'll raid you. Yeah. Yeah.
If there's any other ways, let us know. We'd be happy to.
Yeah, I'd be happy to show you up. You seemed to be doing well. I believe you were AFK when I raided you, which is always fun. But yeah, it looked like you were having a good time. You were doing some good progress in Minecraft. That's always fun.
So that means she must have taken the smarts after her mother. He let her laugh.
Yeah, so what a raid is basically I send all my viewers over to your stream. Yeah, I raided you, so that's basically, yeah, when someone sends all their viewers from their stream over to your stream.
To be able to raid, you need to stop streaming though.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I could give
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah. Okay. She must have. My daughter looks up to the First Lady for inspiration, and it's not just my daughter, sir.
Can that
Yeah,
be done
so
on
if you
console?
have the Twitch app on your phone, you just go and you do /raid space the name of the person you want to raid on Twitch, inside of like the like it's frick, what's it called? It's called the control center or something. And you just do /raid space whatever the name is the person you want to raid, and it'll raid them. But you have to have the phone app to be able to do it on console. I have, yeah, because I've streamed on console before as well. I streamed Spider-Man on console. I also
I think you got another line here.
Oh, I do. She is an inspiration for almost all women in this country. But at the same time, it must be hard for the First Lady as well. All this attention adjusting to this new high-profile life and a husband that has great responsibility.
Let's try to speed through this, Sid.
Yeah, okay.
You're right. It is hard for her,
It's hard
or
for
it
both
is
of
hard
us.
for both
It's
of
hard
us.
for both of us.
It's hard for both of us.
It must be,
Go for
sir.
it.
We sometimes forget the important people in life between all the responsibility and rush.
It's
You know,
you know that's not.
those we care for. Yeah, sorry. Nader is talking in chat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Sure.
Yeah. Talk to. Yeah. Talk to Nita.
Yeah. So
I agree.
basically, PS4. Yeah, fine console for streaming. Works pretty well.
Does it is because you did yours on Xbox, right? Or no, you did your
No, I did
Spider-Man on PS4.
Spider-Man. I did Spider-Man on PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
So that's how.
My suggestion would just be, it's really useful to just use the phone app to be able to do whatever you can't do like with the actual console for streaming on your phone. It's just the simplest way to do it.
Like obviously, if you're playing your game, just like in the downtime, maybe. Search continued after a moment of silence.
Have I told you, sir? We named my son George, or Jorg.
Georg.
Georg. The doctor said he is very healthy and thankful. So is my wife. 2.
Okay. That's good. I hope the hospital has a good service.
Normally we would have been treated in one of the suburban hospitals. But thanks to the special coverage of the presidential staff, we have been transferred to the Emerald State Hospital.
Oh, hey, shout out Christian, please.
Christian, sure. Christian, I don't know your stuff specifically, but
I'm not a full believer of your religion, but
oh yeah, no, I'm an atheist personally. But
But
I hear that
it's pretty
I
cool.
like Christmas, so I mean,
It is a fun time.
yeah, it is a fun time.
Good work on the Christmas stuff.
Okay.
It's really...
Yeah, but thanks for the special coverage of the presidential staff. We've been transferred to Emerald State Hospital.
glad that I could help.
Yeah. Thanks. There are far more unfortunate people in this country, but thanks.
Search side.
I already started thinking about university education, especially for Erica. I want to send her to a good private school, but with the current state of the economy, it's going to be hard for us.
Let's not do
we
that.
don't have any wealth. We'll fix
Yeah.
the economy one way or another. If anyone can, that's you, Mr. President.
The car hit a major pothole and a bump which lifted us up in the air, lifted us up in our seats for a second. Are you fine?
Are you fine? Yeah. Yes, sir. I hope the car is fine too.
The motorcade began approaching the hotel. The Hotel West was supposedly the best hotel in Arbel. The large 25-story main building was undoubtedly one of the taller and more expensive buildings in the city. It
Lucky.
towered over the nearby slums and had been a target for protests. Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Good, okay.
Well, shout out Kristen as well.
Go check out their stream. Nader47. I will, that's their Twitch channel. I will raid them if they're streaming afterwards. If they're not, anyways, just go check out, like, their past streams and stuff. From what I've seen, they make pretty good stuff. And they're in my chat, so they're clearly a pretty good person.
Clearly have good taste.
They clearly have good taste, yeah.
It towered over the nearby slums and had been a target for protests when it was first built. A crowd was gathered in front of the hotel with the welcoming committee at its center. As we approached the red carpeted entrance, I could see the mayor of Narbel and one of his top aides. Serge got out of the car and opened the door. He bowed his head respectively and gestured towards the entrance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day, Mr. President.
As soon as I left the vehicle, the fresh air of Narbel filled my lungs. Almost immediately, everyone present in the crowd flocked over to me with an excessive display of courtesy, smiles, and handshakes, while I donned the mask of a politician. A mask I was very used to. Oh, that was it.
Okay. I think that we're gonna be ending here. Look, you wanna look for who's live right now? Or do you want me to do that? Wait, let me quickly.
Yeah, I shall.
Let me quickly just change to full cam so that we don't accidentally leak all of your Discord stuff again.
Oh no. Yeah, Koi's TP.
Koi's TP?
Yeah. We got another take on our highway, by the way, Sid.
We got another. Oh, okay.
So it looks like it's halfway.
COYS?
_ TP.
Okay. People, go check them out. I can't go and, like, I don't know them, so they might be really bad, but they might also be okay, and they're hopefully okay. So, yeah. Have some fun over there. See you soon. Bye. See you in the future.